happiest times, those being after the 8 hours of longing for our beds. High school may seem scary, but jokes aside, it can be amazing. Welcome to high school, where you'll have all your most memorable moments and memories. Feel free to sit back and relax while I, a junior, tell you everything you need to know about high school. Hi. So as you saw from my little intro part, I am going to be doing a advice to freshmen incoming high school kind of thing. Basically, I'm going to be educating you on the experience of a high school as I am a junior. So I've been in high school for pretty much a little while, and next year will be my last final year of high school. I'll be a senior. I thought I would give you some advice and tips on how to survive high school. As always, I have my trusty dusty notebook with me, as you'll always see me. Also, I got a new haircut. I hope you all like it. I also got bangs, and I feel like it makes me look really cute, and I really love it. So I'm going to be talking with this and basically explaining. First piece of advice I could give you is just not to freak out. When I went to high school, I pretty much freaked out on the first day of school, and I literally froze up anytime anyone asked me a question. I would just be jittery, and I would be fearful, and I would be terrified of anything that would come along. But also, I want you to say, don't be afraid. Your freshman year is going to be pretty easy. It's not going to be the worst thing, but it's also going to be a step different. So just don't be fearful of that and panic the whole time, because the first couple of days you'll be fine, even if you're going through online school, which I am this year due to Corona, or going to physical school. So online school, I guess I could give you advice for that, of not freaking out. It's just not fearing about interacting with your teachers through like whatever you're doing, Zoom maybe, I don't know. But physical, just don't be afraid. Just don't be afraid of who you're gonna see, who you're gonna meet, and I promise you that you'll probably end up loving whoever you have. Next piece of advice I can give you is focus on yourself, not others. I had a big thing about this. I had trouble with this because I always wanted to put everyone beforehand before me so I could get up there, be with the popular kids. Don't do that. Just worry about yourself. Worry about your schooling. Worry about your grades. And worry about how your mental health is being treated. I know that I got walked over a lot because I used to try to be friends with everyone, try to be so nice to everyone, and just whenever they asked me a question, if they wanted like homework, I would be like, okay, here. Don't do that. Just focus on yourself and focus on your story. High school is going to be the part of your coming of age movie. Let it live, let it be. Don't let anyone walk over you and change that. Keeping a good GPA is honestly one thing I could never speak more about. I didn't do this, and I regret it. My GPA was not what I wanted it to be because I slacked off my freshman year. As much as this year isn't the biggest, it's also very important for your schooling because your grades actually do matter. It's terrifying, but it does matter. So make sure to keep up with the grades, make sure to have a good GPA, keep up with it, check your grades often, and just make sure you're doing whatever you can. If you do bad on a test, retake it. Do whatever you can to make sure your grades are being up in your GPA. Another piece of advice I guess I could give you is stay in your lane. But staying in your lane basically means not going out of your way to enter someone else's circle. Basically meaning stay on yourself and don't try and force yourself into these different groups and these different cliques, because it's not going to work out that well. So just focus and stay in your lane. Find a friend group that you love. Find something that makes you very happy and you enjoy, because if not, you're going to absolutely regret it. I know a lot of this is stuff I went through, so that's why I am giving so much advice to it, is because I try to get into so many cliques and try to be friends with so many people. It didn't work. Just stay in your lane, only focus on what you need to do, because high school is honestly something will be a clear memory for a while, and then we'll all forget about it and not care. In 4 years, it's not gonna matter. Like whatever friend group you were in high school, it's not really gonna matter once you get out in the real world. Don't be intimidated by everyone else. I'm saying this as don't be fearful of the upperclassmen. Don't be intimidated by high school as a whole. High school as a whole can be scary, but don't let that get into your head, get into your headspace. Because if you get intimidated, it's only going to put you off as worse. Finding yourself was something through high school that I didn't have exactly my freshman year, but every year onward, I grew a lot from my freshman year. My freshman year, I was very cringy. I was going through my emo phase. It was terrible. But finding yourself is something that I really appreciated in high school. And I really appreciated going through my lower years of high school. I learned who I was. I learned my interests. I learned what I want to do. I want to be a makeup artist, and I learned that pretty much last year from my sophomore year. I pretty much learned that, and I advise you to do that. But also take that as a word of advice and not to focus on your future multiple times and just dwell on it, because that's not going to do you any better. Prioritize your mental health. This is one specific thing that's very, very strong and you need to do. Focus on your mental health. I know that high school can be really stressful, and I know grades can be really stressful, and it can take a toll on our mental health. I know for me, whenever I get into a bad mental health space, I just space out from everything. I try to be so antisocial from everything and just leave. But I learned that what I had to do was just prioritize my mental health and focus on it and know my boundaries and be like, hey, this is going to lead to something really bad. Take a break. Take a 5-minute break if you need to. Just take a deep breath and calm down. Because I can specifically remember times where I would be doing homework and I would literally be so frustrated, freaking out, and just wanting to scream. And that's not going to do you any better. So just prioritize your mental health. If you need to take a mental health day and you need to take a day off from school, absolutely do it. Just focus on your mental health, because if not, you go to a spiral and it's not going to end up good. So make sure to hydrate, drink some water, and stay safe, because that's what you need to do. That's honestly everything you deserve. Mwah. Make sure and get enough sleep. Making sure you get enough sleep is something I've struggled with. Back in school, I would literally not understand why I had to go to bed at a certain time. I would be like, I'm old enough to stay up, and then it would tear up my sleep schedule, and I would be exhausted. I would have to wake up at around 6:30, and I would go to sleep around 12, so that gives me about 6 hours of sleep, and it took a toll on me. I used to go to bed around 9 when I was younger, until going to high school, which went to 10. And a good 8 hours of sleep is very good to have, especially at our age where we're growing. But I only got used to get 6 or 7. At 6 or 5, I would be terrible at waking up. I wouldn't want to wake up, I would just want to sleep in. And that wouldn't do me any well, because I already start the day off in a bad mood. I don't start the day off productive, and I just don't have a productive day afterwards. So make sure to get enough sleep, because it makes you very much more productive. It makes your energy boost up. Don't let anyone bring you down. Something I very struggled with. I came to terms with my sexuality in my freshman year and came out in my freshman year. And it was something that people knew. I didn't want a lot of people to know, but people knew, and it would bring me down because I would hear classmates go say different words. I've been bullied, called different things for being Mexican, and just itself brought me down a lot. But as I am older now, I learned to not let that bring me down, because I am confident in my brown skin, even though it's kind of light right now. I'm trying to tan a little bit, I promise, but I'm confident in my brown skin, and I'm confident enough to realize that some little conservative white boy is not going to take me down. I'm happy in my little cottagecore dreams. I spoke a little bit about this earlier, but don't forget about your future. what happened to me was I basically tried to overthink about my future so many times. In freshman year, they so force upon had this plan for after high school. Here you go. I'm like, it didn't help me out much. I was so confused until I found out I want to be a cosmetologist. I want to be a makeup artist. I want to do makeup. So when I found that out, it really helped me. But a lot of kids don't find out what they want to do in their future till literally senior year. And so they have to pick something. And some kids don't even pick something. They'll just pick something they graduate with, and then they'll make their decision after and take a leap year or whatever. Or they take a year break. And honestly, if that's meant for you, go for it. But for me, I just make sure to not dwell on my future. I'm living in the present, not the future. I'd much rather live as today a day, as of right now, than worrying about every little aspect I need to get done for my future. Of course I've thought about it, and of course I have a set plan, I guess. But just don't be afraid to change the plan, if that makes sense. Don't be afraid to change it up a little bit, even though if it's not something you exactly planned on, change it up a little bit. And just experiment with things. So just experiment, go out and do different things, and who knows, maybe you might like it, and it might be a new favorite thing. Paying attention. This is a habit I struggle with, but paying attention is very specific because they go fast. They will literally not stop sometimes. I remember being in class, I would literally have to take notes or something. The teacher would talk so much and I would be I would literally be so stressed out and not know how to do it. But just make sure to pay attention, because paying attention gets you farther in the long run than being in the past. And just daydreaming, I end up doing it too all the time. But try and control that, because if you're not paying attention, you can literally miss out on one very specific thing that's very important to something, completely miss it, and it's an easy flunk. So just make sure to pay attention and make sure that you care and that you are prioritizing your schoolwork. Asking questions. This is something I get kind of fearful of. I kind of chicken out sometimes, but asking questions is a very good thing to do. Asking questions makes you basically learn a little bit more than you would. Asking questions like explanations, deeper explanations, not only helps you, but it helps the class that's listening, and it just helps you better understand what you're teaching and what you're learning. So for say your math teacher is talking about geometry and about certain slope. That's not geometry. If your teacher's talking about slope and you ask a question about it, not only is it going to help you, it's also going to help every single one of your peers, and who knows, maybe it's someone that's struggling and that was scared to ask a question like you would. So put yourself out there a little bit more. I know it's hard, but putting yourself out there just a little bit helps out. This one's going to be a little cheesy. Just make sure to stay yourself. I know in high school it can be very easy to try and manipulate yourself. Try to change the little aspects of you, but make sure not to do it. Be you. I mean, if any of these kids think otherwise, they're just insecure little kids. Literally children, because we're not that big yet. Just insecure. We're already all going through our own things. If someone has something to say about you, it's only because they're probably insecure about themselves and just feel like they need to take it out on you. So just be yourself. Don't change anything about you unless you have to work with dress code. But that doesn't really go along with it. Just stay you. Stay your precious you, because you are beautiful, you're enough, and you deserve literally every piece of happiness. If someone doesn't let that happen to you, trust me, contact me and I will be there to give you the biggest social distance hug ever. And a bunch of kisses. No, but I hope you enjoyed today's video. Make sure to like and subscribe. Comment down below other videos I should do. I'm gonna go and edit this video, and I hope you have an amazing day or night wherever you are in the world, and I